You know all those kitchen scraps you throw away every day? The apple cores, the coffee grounds, the old bits of newspaper? What if I told you that you could turn all of that into one of the most valuable resources your garden could ever have? We're talking about turning actual trash into pure treasure, and you can do it right at home.
And this is what that transformation looks like. I mean, check this out. On the left, you've got the engine of the whole operation, the composting worms. And on the right, that's the finished product. Rich, dark, nutrient-packed fertilizer. It's an incredible glow-up, right? From a pile of wriggling workers to a pile of pure garden gold.
And let's be really clear here. This isn't just your average run-of-the-mill compost. This is vermicompost. Gardeners call it black gold. And believe me, they're not exaggerating. It's a supercharged, all-natural fertilizer that's just teeming with life. And it can make your plants absolutely thrive like you've never seen before.
So, what's the big deal? Why the fancy nickname? Let's dive in and break down exactly why this stuff has earned the title Nature's Black Gold.
Okay, the benefits here are just fantastic, and they all work together. First off, this stuff is jam-packed with nutrients and good microbes that your plants absolutely love. It also physically improves your soil, helping it hold on to water way better. While all this is happening, you're keeping a huge amount of your waste out of the landfill. And the end result? You're building the perfect foundation to grow healthy, organic, and totally chemical-free food. It's a win-win-win.
And get this, the value is pretty shocking. $500. Yeah, you heard that right. That's roughly the market price for a single ton of high-quality vermicompost. You're not just making fertilizer, you're creating a seriously valuable commodity.
And look, this isn't just a little backyard hobby. Out in Joan, Lebanon, there's a community project that's processing tons of organic waste every single day. This just goes to show you that vermicomposting is a powerful, scalable solution that can help tackle our waste problems on a massive, community-wide level.
So who are the little superheroes doing all this work? Well, it's time to meet the composting crew.
Now here is a crucial tip. You can't just go digging in your backyard for any old worm. There are something like 7,000 species of earthworms out there, but only a tiny handful, maybe about 8 of them, are really cut out for the fast-paced, high-volume work inside a compost bin. These guys are specialists.
So earthworms basically fall into 3 main groups. You've got your deep divers, the Enoceque worms, that make vertical tunnels. Then there are the endogeic worms, who just tunnel around horizontally in the soil. But the ones we care about, our heroes, are the epigeic worms. These are the surface dwellers. They live and feed on all that decaying stuff right at the top, which makes them the absolute perfect residents for a compost bin.
And within that special group, you've got the superstars. The red wiggler is probably the MVP. It's a total eating machine that can munch through its own body weight in food every single day. Then you have the European nightcrawler. It's a bit bigger, great for keeping the bin aerated and handling larger scraps. And for those of you in warmer climates, the African nightcrawler is a champ known for eating and reproducing at incredible speeds.
All right, you've met the all-star team. So how do you build them the perfect home? Let's get practical and talk about building a worm paradise.
You know, getting set up is way easier than you might think. First step, grab a bin. Plastic or wood, both work great. The most important thing is drainage and air, so make sure to drill some holes in the bottom and on the sides. Step 2, let's make their bed. Fill it about 3/4 full with stuff like shredded newspaper or cardboard. Step 3, just add water. You want the bedding to feel damp, kind of like a wrung-out sponge. And finally, step 4, introduce your worms. About a pound or half a kilogram is a great amount to start with.
Now, if you remember just one thing from all this, make it this: temperature. These guys are happiest between 13 and 25 degrees Celsius. That's about 55 to 77 Fahrenheit. So you've got to keep their home out of the scorching sun and definitely away from freezing cold.
So, you've built them a 5-star hotel. The guests have checked in. What's on the room service menu? Let's talk about the ultimate worm buffet.
This right here is basically your cheat sheet. They go absolutely crazy for fruit and veggie scraps, coffee grounds, and crushed eggshells. But, and this is really important, what you avoid matters just as much. So, no meat, fish, or dairy, because that'll get stinky and attract pests. And you'll want to stay away from oily foods and maybe go easy on really acidic things like lots of citrus or onions.
And here is an amazing pro tip. That project in Lebanon discovered that coffee grounds act like a shot of espresso for the worms. It literally supercharges their metabolism, getting them to eat up to 6 times their own body weight. That's a huge boost to your composting speed.
Okay, so you've built the bin, you've been feeding your little crew, you've been patient, and now it's time for the reward. Let's talk about harvesting your compost.
A little patience goes a long way here. For the first month or so, the worms are just settling in. But somewhere between month 3 and 6, you'll start to see that beautiful, dark, earthy compost building up at the bottom. And by about the 6-month mark, you are ready for your very first harvest.
And you don't need any special equipment for this. The simplest way is called the migration method. You just push all that finished compost over to one side of the bin. Then, on the other side, you add fresh bedding and some new food. The worms will do all the hard work for you and migrate over to the new food court, leaving you with gorgeous, worm-free compost that's ready to collect.
And this right here, this is what it's all about. That whole journey from leftover scraps and a team of worms to this nutrient-dense, life-giving garden gold. It's a perfect little closed-loop system, all powered by nature.
You know, it really leaves you with a fascinating thought. While we're all out here searching for these complex, high-tech answers to our massive waste problem, could it be that one of the simplest, most effective solutions has been right here the whole time, just quietly working away, right under our feet?